Before we begin, I just wanted to point out there will be no story progress in this episode. I'm just talking to characters to access their side quests. So if you don't care to watch that, just skip this episode and head on to the next. And for those of you who stuck around, there are going to be some audio glitches in this episode. That the short version of the story is that the settings I used for this episode and this episode only make it so that I couldn't do anything about them. So best I can say is just deal with them. I apologize. I'll do better in the future, but I'm sorry. That's all. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Last time we received our main quest, and this time we're going to embark on it. Padawan, a word, if I may. There are many rumors about your most recent meeting with the Jedi Council. There's talk that they're sending you on a mission to help us against Malak and the Sith. How do you know the Council gave me a mission? I saw you going into the Council chambers. You were in there for some time. I naturally assumed the Council had given you a task to perform. Please understand I'm not asking you to reveal anything that can endanger the Order or the Republic. Whatever the Council is giving you is for your ears, not mine. I only wish to wish you well, and to warn you to be careful. There are many evils out there, many dangers. The Sith are not the only minions of the dark side. What could be more dangerous than the Sith? Master Dorak has been training me to succeed him as chronicler here in the Academy. In my studies, I have come across tales of creatures that are born of the dark side, monsters of pure evil. The worst of these abominations is the Terentatek, a beast that feeds on the blood of those who are strong in the Force. Over the centuries, many Jedi have fallen to their ravenous hunger. What makes this creature so dangerous? The Terentatek is a predator, and we Jedi are its prey. They are incredibly strong with a primal cunning, and they have an inborn resistance to the Force. There are some who believe the Terentatek is a monster bred by the ancient Sith and spread throughout the galaxy to destroy the Jedi. Fortunately, the Terentatek is quite rare. They only dwell in the most dangerous and darkest of places. In fact, one has not been seen in nearly 40 years. So, why are you worried about them now? It's not the first time the Terentatek have vanished for long periods of time. Many believe they can lie dormant for years, only to rise and hunt when the power of the dark side waxes full. I fear Malak's rise may have awoken these creatures from their dormant state. Once the Sith are beaten, I would not be surprised if the Council organized another great hunt to try and exterminate them. The Great Hunt? What's that? Great Hunt was organized by the Jedi Council shortly after the war against Exar Kun. Jedi were scattered throughout the galaxy, helping to rebuild from the devastation. Many Jedi vanished during this period, disappearing from a variety of worlds without warning. The Terentatek were behind the killings. It was decided that the galaxy had to be purged of those insatiable monsters, though the cost proved high. So, the Jedi just killed these creatures? Terentatek are an abomination. They are ruthless engines of death and destruction. The Council had no choice but to destroy them for the greater good of the galaxy. Many Jedi banded together and journeyed to the planets that were suspected of harboring the Terentatek. The Great Hunt did not rest until all the creatures had been slain, or almost all. There were still rumors of Terentatek on the planet of Korriban, a dark world some believed to be the birthplace of the Sith, as Lord Exar Kun was corrupted during the First Sith War. They never went to Korriban. The Council, fearing more Jedi might fall to the dark side, declared the Great Hunt was officially over. The 3 Jedi were appointed to continue the work. Why? What was so special about those 3? Jedi chosen to continue the hunt were on their own were Duran Keldroma, Gunhan Suresh, and Shayla Nur. These 3 shared a powerful bond, and each of them was devoted to the light. The Council felt that together they would be able to defeat any Terentatek they found, and by supporting each other they could resist the temptations of Korriban and the lure of the dark side. But none of the 3 survived. Their master felt them become one with the Force when they left this world. He believed they were slain by one of the monsters they sought. The Council felt it was too dangerous to send anyone else in search of their remains, so their exact fate is not known. We'll let their death serve as a warning to you, Padawan. Excuse me. Thanks for the warning. I'll be careful. A final warning as you go, Padawan. Do not underestimate the Tarantatech. If you do, you may suffer the same fate as those who disappeared after the Great Hunt. Alright. So now we're gonna get on the Ebon Hawk. Get ready to go. Alright, so here we are on the Ebon Hawk. And real quick, I'm going to give a tour around the ship. I'm going to start over here. This is the starboard crew quarters. Mission stands here whenever she's not in your party. So when you're on the ship, you can come over here to talk to her. Excuse me. The exit to leave the ship is right by the starboard crew quarters. It's probably very important to remember that. Over here is the port crew quarters, where there is, I'm going to spoil it a little, nobody is going to be standing here to talk to. Okay. Now, if we go down this hall, this is the cargo bay. I'm only going to be using this place twice in the game. No crew member is going to be standing here. This is the engine room. You only have to come here once in the game, and it's at the very end. This is a ladder that ostensibly you can use to get to the top of the ship, but it's never utilized in the game. This is the medical bay. The only use it has in the game is that a crew member that joins later in the game will be standing here to talk to. Over here is the garage, and remember how I said that there was a workbench in your base, wherever your base is throughout the game? Well, the Ebon Hawk is going to serve as your base for pretty much the rest of the game, so this will be the main workbench you'll be using for the rest of the game. Other things that your garage does is there will be Candaris and one other party member that will be standing in here for you to talk to. In here is the main hold where Zalbar and T3 are. You can talk to them, but T3 doesn't really say anything you can understand, and Zalbar doesn't really tell. Even when you ask to learn anything new about him, he will not tell you anything until he has no choice, and then he won't tell you more that's necessary. He does not have a side quest that will open up through talking to him like most of the characters will. Here is a smaller cargo room that Juhani stands in to talk to you when you want to. Going this way, this is the communications room. Never utilized in any way in this game. And further up here is the cockpit. This is the galaxy map that he's looking at. It's a navigational computer, and it's what you use to fly from planet to planet. Now, I'm not going to be using that right away because I'm going to be spending some time catching up with my party members so that I have, because two of their side quests I can open up right away.
Hey there, what can I do for you?
I want to talk to you about your brother.
Don't worry. I won't let the search for Griff get in the way of what we're doing. Let's just get back to the task at hand. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Alright, hers is ready.
Okay, have it your way.
Okay, now I want to go talk to Candaris.
Yeah, what do you want?
I was wondering if you had any more war stories.
I was one of the best youth warriors in the clan Ordo in my time. No one before me had mastered the power of our basilisk war droids as quickly as I had. Except Mandalore himself, of course. In those days, we were sweeping across the Outer Rim, destroying all who fought us. Young Mandalores would prove themselves in real combat with unknown opponents above 1,000 worlds. Each brought back stories of his achievements.
What was your story?
I remember it well, orbiting high above a placid world, its defenses just stirring. As was tradition, I would go ahead of the first wave to find enemies in the thickest fighting. I remember sitting there in my armor, linked directly with a basilisk thrumming beneath me, my heart racing with fear of the coming battle.
What happened next?
The doors opened in front of me, and the air was sucked out of the drop bay, scattering crystals of frozen vapor across my path. I can't describe what it feels like to look directly down at a world, falling continuously as you circle it, with barely 15 centimeters of armor plate protecting you. When the magnetic locks disengaged on my droid, I plunged out of the drop bay towards the battle that waited below.
You dropped from orbit riding a droid?
The exhilaration, the euphoria I felt as I streaked into the atmosphere, dodging self-guided projectiles and beam weapons, was unmatched. An 80-kilometer plunge through the atmosphere, dodging and weaving, the outside of my armor glowing like the sun with the heat of re-entry. And with barely 30 meters to spare, I twisted and skimmed the surface, firing at the giant beam generators that were in my path. The explosion from that sent shock waves that leveled the entire complex around it. It was the moment of my life.
That sounds like a lot of fun. I want a basilisk war
I'll never
droid.
forget those times. But things are different now. We can't go on fighting the way we did. There are too few of us left now. But I really don't want to talk about this anymore. I trust I've satisfied your curiosity for now. Is there something else you want to know?
I'm gonna talk to him again.
Your choice. I'm here if you want something done right. Yeah, what do you want?
I was wondering if you had any more war stories.
You want another war story, huh? You want to hear about some other world getting wasted, eh? I knew you were the type. Your stagnant republic has never seen some of the strange creatures and races we fought on the Outer Rim in those years. And you never will now.
Where did you fight this time?
We were going through the asteroid fields of the Crispin system at the very edge of the galaxy, playing with the pirates and smugglers we found there. The main belt in the Crispin system consists of mainly small rocks covered in frozen methane gas shells, and the pirates were using them for cover. Ha! I remember using a thermal generator to cause the outer layer of one of the asteroids to vaporize in a picosecond. It blew out and shredded the 3 smugglers using it for cover. But that was a mistake.
Why? What happened?
The asteroid I had targeted was smaller than most, maybe a dozen meters on a side. On the outside, it looked the same as any other, just a ball covered in frozen gas. But something must have been inside it, something inactive in the cold. The heat of my blast might have triggered something or woken something up. After I'd hit it, spots of light and heat appeared all over the thin shell, still covering it, evaporating the gases. What lay underneath looked like some sort of rocky growth. A deformed rock, pitted by scores of micrometeorite scars. I think something even older might have been inside that.
An asteroid?
Maybe, but maybe not. It started rotating faster and faster as we watched it. After a second, it started spraying fire, thermal projectiles that melted our armor like wax. We were caught completely by surprise. Before we could counterattack, it fled at an incredible speed.
A ship!
We couldn't catch it, but we could follow its hyperspace wake. We followed its trail as far as we could, heading away from the galactic core. When it finally led beyond the edge of our galaxy, we abandoned our efforts. Anything that wants to commit suicide in that great void is not worth our trouble trying to catch. That's the only story I have for now. I'll tell you some more stuff later if we get the chance. Is there something else you want to know? Your choice. I'm here if you want something done right.
Does he have anything else to say?
Yeah, what do you want?
He does.
I don't have as many strange stories like the last one I told you, but I do have a couple about me and the stuff I've done. In one battle above the world of Althir, my unit managed to defeat a force of Althiri 10 times our own size. That battle gained me command of an entire subsect of my clan.
Tell me the story.
For 5 days, they had managed to hold off our forces, keeping us to the outer rings of their world, preventing us from attacking it directly. My task was to assault one of their flanks with a false attack. The Althiri would be drawn out by the units I had sent in. Once they had surrounded those units, the bulk of my forces would attack from the rear and defeat them in detail.
Did it work?
Things didn't go as I had planned. I saw an opening, a mistake they had made in the disposition of their forces, and took it. While fending off our main force, they had let their fleet split in two. The center of their entire fleet was left exposed. I turned my forces and assaulted the center of their fleet, decimating them.
You were a great warrior, Candace.
Their slow, ponderous ship could not turn to face us without being overwhelmed. The command vessels were destroyed in seconds. Their ranks were thrown into chaos. It was amusing to watch the surviving ships scatter and flee. Several even tried to dive through the plane of the rings to escape us. They were shredded by the rings, or crashed into rocks, or were destroyed by our forces as we pursued them. Warriors do not flee from a battle if they are losing. They fight to the end, as we did against your Jedi Revan. Another time, maybe, I'll tell you about how the war with the Republic went. For now, let's just get on with things. Is there something else you want to know? Your choice. I'm here if you want something done right. Yeah, what do you want?
Okay, that's all he has for now.
Your choice.
So let's go and speak to Karth and Bastila. I haven't talked to Karth in a while, so let's see what he has to say.
Yes, what's on your mind?
I just want to talk with you.
Oh, you want to argue some more, is that it?
I'm always up for a good fight.
So I've seen. If I were Malik, I'd be a bit nervous to have you on my tail. I just don't trust easily, and for good reasons, which are my own.
But we do have to work together, Karth, so it has plenty to do with me.
Oh, damn it. I suppose I won't get any rest until I talk, will I? You want to know why I don't trust anyone? Fine. Here goes. 5 years ago, the Jedi had just finished the war with the Mandalorians. Revan and Malik were heroes. I was damn proud to have served in their fleet. It was completely unexpected when they turned on us, invading the Republic while we were still weak. Nobody knew what to think, least of all me. Our heroes had become brutal, conquering Sith, and we were all but helpless before them. I mean, think about it. If you can't even trust the best of the Jedi, who can you trust?
What do I have to do with Malik and Revan?
It's not that. That's not what I mean. There were others, good, solid, trusted men who joined them. Malik and Revan and the Sith deserve to die for what they've done, but the ones who fled the Republic and joined them are even worse. The dark side has nothing to do with why they joined with the Sith. They deserve no mercy.
Damn! You say that with such hatred.
I know. And I should apologize to you. I've become so accustomed to expecting the worst in others, and you've done nothing to deserve that. It's just... No, never mind. Let's just continue with what we were doing. I'd rather not talk about it.
Okay.
Yes, what's on your mind?
That's it?
You got it.
Fine. Bastila?
How can I help?
You wanted to speak to me?
Yes, I did. I wanted to speak to you about our mission and what lies ahead for us. It seems fate, or the Force, is driving us into a confrontation with the Dark Lord. You must prepare yourself for when we face Malik. The confrontation will be difficult for you. I remember how hard it was when I first faced Revan.
Is it true you killed Darth Revan?
It It's true that due to my battle meditation, I was with the Jedi strike team that boarded Revan's ship. We did not kill Revan, however.
That's not what I heard.
Our mission was to capture Revan if possible. It was Malak who turned on his own master, firing upon Revan's ship while we were still on board it. It was his desire to kill us and his master both. Thankfully, we narrowly escaped the vessel as it exploded.
What else did you expect from the Sith?
True, I suppose. And yet the outcome of that battle was unexpected. To all of us. Revan's end was unforeseen. As I said, we were there to capture Revan alive. The Jedi do not believe in killing their prisoners. No one deserves execution, no matter what their crimes. Remember that Revan and Malak were once great Jedi, heroes in every sense of the word. They demonstrate the danger of the dark side to us all. I'm sorry, we really shouldn't speak of this anymore. The memory of my confrontation with Revan is painful. Let's return to the mission, please.
Anything else?
How can I help?
I'd like to know about you, Bastila.
Yes, I suppose I can understand your curiosity, given the bond that connects us. Very well. I'll tell you a bit about myself.
Tell me how you joined the Jedi, then.
I was found to be strong with the Force at a young age, as most Padawans are. As a girl, I was given to the Order to be trained. When I joined the Order, I left my family on Tal Ravan, as all Padawans do. My family is still there, the last that I heard. I've had little contact with them, as it is discouraged.
Discouraged? So the Jedi separates children from their families?
Relationships with family members are fraught with powerful emotions. Such extremes are to be avoided. Anger and hate are the worst, but even love can lead to folly.
You aren't allowed to love?
Emotional entanglements can be dangerous. They can impair rational thought. They can lead to outbursts of uncontrolled emotion. A Jedi must be above such things.
You don't sound very convinced.
It can be a hard lesson to learn. I was not on good terms with all of my family, but I do remember missing my father terribly for a long time.
Who weren't you on good terms with?
I was not on good terms with my mother. I was only a little girl when I left, but I was old enough to resent her and the way she treated my father. She pushed my father into treasure hunting. I spent all my young life on ships, traveling from one false lead to the next. She whittled away my father's entire fortune, and I hated her for it. I think she was relieved to give me to the Jedi, but my father was heartbroken.
Never tried to get in touch with your father again?
A child is too young to understand the sacrifices that must be made. It's better if they have no contact with their family once they're removed. Once I was older, I realized the wisdom of this policy. A Jedi must do what is needed, personal desires notwithstanding. Love can only obscure and confuse the matter.
You sound very sad when you say that.
Even a Jedi cannot always control the feelings of the heart. We must do our best to guard against it, no matter what the cost. But some sacrifices are harder than others. I do not wish to discuss this anymore. I would rather return to our mission.
Okay. Let's see if we can discuss it any further.
How can I help?
Nope.
Then I suggest we move on.
So I think that's actually ready to trigger her mission. Let's speak to Juhani while we're at it.
I feel I must apologize for the way I acted towards you before, in the Grove. It was wrong of me.
You thought the dark side had consumed you. It is nothing.
I am sorry for attacking you. I am sorry for thinking you would only try to kill me. I hope that by helping you in your task, I may redeem myself in your eyes, and in my own.
Do not worry, Juhani. I forgive you.
Thank you. It is most reassuring to know that you can forgive me, even though I tried to take your life. I can only hope that, in our time journeying together, I will succeed.
Alright.
How may I be of assistance to you, Padawan?
Wonder if we can talk.
What is it you would like to speak to me about?
How did you become a Jedi?
How I came to be a Jedi? I am sure you would not find it very interesting. Are you sure you would like to hear?
Yes, please continue.
Well, it goes back a number of years. Back on my homeworld, we did not see Jedi very often, especially where I lived.
Where did you live?
The hind end of space. A pit of a world, to be sure, where Jedi rarely tread. but we had heard of them. Well, everyone had, so that is not to be unexpected. Champions of truth, defenders of justice, heroes of the Republic. It was very easy for a child to be enthralled by their image, their mystique. Maybe I was one of those children.
Did you meet a Jedi?
Yes. Yes, I did. When I saw a Jedi for the first time, they lived up to everything my imagination had created them to be. I was awed, and maybe a little enamored.
Enamored?
They were quite striking, especially the tales of their leader. From that moment on, I knew that I would have to try to become a Jedi. To lift myself out of the rut I had been living in for years, and to make a real difference, as the Jedi were. The foolish delusions of a child. But this child made it happen. As soon as I was able, I left my world and went in search of them. I found them and was accepted. I had been living my dream on Dantooine for several years before you came. Although, perhaps I was not entirely ready for it. Or not completely suited to the task. Otherwise, I would not have fallen. But thanks to you, I have been redeemed. Perhaps I may yet live to see that dream of mine come true. Come, there is much we should do. Let us not waste time talking. Action is what is needed.
Alright. See if there's anything else she can say.
How may I be of assistance to you, Padawan? What is it you would like to speak to me about?
Are you doing alright?
I thank you for your concern, but I am still a bit shaken.
Why? What is wrong?
I have been thinking about myself, about Quatra, and about my fall to the dark side. I keep thinking that it was my anger that drove me that far, that nearly damned me. I look inside myself now and I can still see it. I still feel it.
Perhaps you just need more time.
More time would do me good. Time to distance myself from that anger. I think that is why the Council agreed to send me with you. They think, perhaps, that in your company, I will be able to free myself from it.
I can't afford to look after you all the time, Juhani.
I do not come here begging for scraps from you. I will earn my way with you. You will see just how valuable I am.
Yep. Alright. I don't think there's anything else she can say.
What is it you would like to...
Yeah,
Of course.
nothing else. Okay, so I mentioned how Bastila and Mission have their side quests ready to trigger, and how you do that is you simply walk out into the entrance area of most of the worlds, just like experiment with it when they're ready. Just make sure you have the character in question with you as you walk out into the area. See, right here is Lena.
Mission, is that you? It's me, Lena, remember? I was dating your brother back on Terrace. Lena? What are you doing here? Where's Griff? I'm just passing through. Griff and I broke up a few months after we left Terrace together. Probably for the best. Your brother can be charming, Mission, but he's bad news. Don't you start trashing my brother, you cantina rat! Take that back or I'll smack you so hard your head tails will pop off! Mission, what's wrong with you? Why are you acting this way?
Mission gets a little worked up when it comes to her brother.
Yeah, I know how she feels. Griff can be pretty frustrating. I guess that's why Mission didn't want to come with us when we left Terrace. You liar! Griff told me that you didn't want his little sister tagging along. That's why he had to leave me behind. Is that what the Hutt Spawn told you? I wanted you to come with us, Mission. I even offered to pay for your ticket. Why not? I paid for everything else while I was with that freeloader. But he told me you didn't want to leave Terrace. I said we shouldn't even go then. But he said we'd come back and get you after we struck it rich on Tatooine. Just another one of his lies. No, you're the one who's lying. Griff wouldn't... He wouldn't try to leave me behind.
Why should we believe you, Lena?
Think about it. If Griff wasn't trying to ditch you, Mission, then why didn't he tell you where we were going? After we left Terrace, he told me looking after you was holding him back. Griff's always looking to blame other people for his own problems. That's why he abandoned you. He did the same thing to me, too. as soon as I ran out of money. He started blaming me for all of his problems, like it's my fault his get-rich-quick schemes never work out.
I'd like to hear Griff's side of things before I judge him.
Hey, if you want to talk to Griff, go ahead. Last I heard, he was going to make a fortune working the Zerka Corp mines on Tatooine. But as far as I'm concerned, he's out of my life forever.
Griff's better off without you anyway, you table-dancing, brother-stealing home wrecker.
I guess that's my cue to leave then. I didn't mean to upset you, Mission. But one day you'll see I'm right about your brother. I only hope it's not too late by then.
Alright, so now I just have Bastila. Really?
How can I help?
You wish to talk to me?
I do. I've been watching you, studying you closely to see what kind of progress you've made since your training at the hands of Master Zahar.
I think we both know the real reason you've been watching me.
You never give up, do you? I admit, I'm interested in you. I find you intriguing, compelling even, but it's not what you think. You have a great gift. You have an awesome command of the Force, and I tremble when I think of how you might misuse it.
I make you tremble? You get all tingly inside, too.
What? No, of course not. Not like that, anyway. In many ways, you are dangerous. You could be the savior of the galaxy, or you could bring untold destruction upon us all. I've seen how you've resisted many temptations and continue to walk the path of the light side. Very commendable, but I'm afraid you might stray from this path. You need to see what the dark side represents in its entirety, for it is what we battle. Only the wisdom of a Jedi Master can truly explain this, but I will do my best to make you understand.
What are you trying to tell me?
The dark side is not simply giving in to anger, temptation, or to use the Force to destructive ends. These things only lead to the dark side. The dark side grows stronger and more insidious the closer you draw to it. It begs you to surrender to it, to release all its terrible power, and it becomes harder and harder to resist. And once you stop resisting, it's too late. It twists you up inside and turns you into a mockery of everything you once stood for.
You seem to know that temptation very well.
I am no less resistant to temptation than any other. I simply have the benefit of training that you do not. But even the training of the Jedi might not be enough to save us. We need only to look at the atrocities which have been committed by those under its sway to understand the terrible, corrupting evil of the dark side. Millions dead, and far more suffering. What sort of person would you have to become to perform such deeds gladly?
I couldn't see myself ever doing such things.
That is why the dark side is so insidious. If you are not careful, you do not even see each small step you take towards it until it's too late. It's so easy to think that we would never fall prey to such a horror, that we have unlimited control, vigilance, and foresight. If only that were true. The Sith have become powerful because there are many Jedi who've succumbed to the lure of the dark side and joined their cause. What greater weapon is there than to turn an enemy to your cause, to use their own knowledge against them? We are weakened while they are strengthened, so we must harden our hearts and do whatever is required to fight against the dark side, even when the battle becomes wearying.
Do whatever is required, such as?
I don't know. The vision of our future is clouded by shadows cast from the dark side, but I sense something ominous lurking in those shadows. But words alone cannot save one from the dark side. Come, we should continue with the task at hand. When the time comes, I only hope we are all strong enough to do what we must.
Alright.
How can I
You
help?
have anything else to say? No?
Then I suggest we move on.
Okay. Once again, I'm gonna reload because unless... Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and reload the map. Here we go. Excuse me. I know it's been a very long time, dear, but aren't you Bastila, Helena's little girl? Yes, it is you. I can see it in the eyes. My, how you've grown.
I'm Bastila, yes. I take it that you know my mother?
Oh, yes. I worked with your father on an expedition years ago. Your mother showed me hollows of you before you left. Such a pretty little girl you were.
Is there something I can do for you, miss? As you can see, we're in quite a hurry.
Don't be rude, Bastila. Oh, I didn't mean to take up your time. I just wanted to ask if your mother's condition has improved any since I last saw her.
My mother's condition?
Oh, you didn't know? Oh dear. I assumed that she had found you. When I talked to her last, she was desperate to find you.
I've not seen my mother since I joined the Order. Do you know what's happened? Did she say anything about my father?
I'm sorry, dear, but your mother is very ill, so she told me. She didn't say anything about your father, however. I didn't see him.
I see. Where did you meet her? Do you remember?
I saw her on Tatooine, dear. She said she'd been there for a while. Maybe she's still there.
Thank you for informing me. I really must be going now.
What's all this about?
It seems my mother's been looking for me. Strange. Should we get the opportunity, could we look for her on Tatooine?
I thought you and your mother didn't get along.
We never did. I am interested in hearing about my father, however. Part of me would rather not see her at all. But if she's really sick, well, we shall see.
Alright. So, Lena directed us to Tatooine to look for Mission's brother. And, Malare, that Twi'lek woman that we just talked to, directed us to Tatooine to find Bastila's mother. So, I guess that's gonna be our next destination. So, next time on Knights of the Old Republic, we're heading to Tatooine. See you guys then.